Manny, what do you think of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? That fight just got announced. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Pacquiao's still a legend. He's one of my inspirations. I love the guy. I wish him nothing but the best, but sometimes.
Jake Paul has jumped into the frenzy surrounding Manny Pacquiao's shocking return against Mario Barrios, setting social media ablaze with a mix of playful jabs, bold claims, and tongue-in-cheek mockery. Never one to miss a moment in the spotlight, the brash influencer turned boxer is stirring the pot once again, teasing both the legendary Pacquiao and the reigning champion Barrios with his signature blend of curiosity and provocation, even asking the internet if he could beat Mike Tyson, blurring the lines between trolling and ambition.
Do you think Jake Paul can beat Mike Tyson?
Jake Paul has been watching from the sidelines as boxing pundits dissect Manny Pacquiao's surprising return, questioning whether it's wise for a 40-something legend to reignite his career after a 4-year absence, highlighting the stark contrast between Pacquiao's legacy and Mario Barrios' youthful momentum. Jake suggests this fight might be driven more by spectacle than substance. His commentary hints that Pacquiao's comeback is less about competition and more about showmanship, teasing the idea that what fans are really tuning in for isn't just a fight, it's a moment.
Got my new trainer here, and Manny Pacquiao. Jake Paul, I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming. Let's go.
In Jake's eyes, Mario Barrios finds himself in a tough position, an active champion with everything to lose, now facing a living legend whose shadow looms large. While Barrios has proven his heart and skill in the ring, Jake envisions him waking up to a flood of tweets celebrating Pacquiao's glory days, reminders of a time when the Filipino icon dismantled opponents with ease. With trademark sarcasm, Jake jokes that Barrios might be watching highlights of fights that happened before he was even born, painting a satirical picture of a fighter who's both confident and just a little shaken by the weight of history.
I actually wanted to fight me behind the scenes, like a bunch of conversations, trying to make it happen. It didn't seem like very exciting.
Jake Paul leans fully into the drama swirling around Pacquiao versus Barrios, constantly reminding his audience that boxing thrives on hype as much as punches. He mocks the media circus, claiming there are more cameras than gloves in New York City, and laughs at the absurdity of press conferences, where compliments and insults fly in equal measure. To Jake, the whole thing feels like a scripted play, with every outlet suddenly acting like Pacquiao invented the sport, obsessing over his knockout reel like it's ancient scripture. He ridicules the portrayal of Barrios as David facing Goliath, and questions whether the fight is truly about legacy or just a money grab, drawing a tongue-in-cheek parallel to his own rise from meme maker to fighter. Jake satirizes critics who once laughed at his debut, but now whisper his name alongside boxing legends, suggesting if he could make that leap, maybe Pacquiao's comeback isn't so far-fetched. He thrives on the social media frenzy, where GIFs, highlight reels, and hot takes flood the digital arena, often outshining the live crowd. Reaction videos become his playground as he jokes that fans at home, armed with popcorn and opinions, are just as invested. Jake even pulls back the curtain on the business side, suggesting fight night might be more about sponsorship deals and pay-per-view profits than titles. With money often hitting harder than any glove, he skewers the nostalgia narrative, saying fans will gladly pay top dollar to watch a legend slow down, predicting that every wrinkle and grey hair on Pacquiao's face will get more coverage than the fight itself. With biting humor, Jake turns the spectacle on its head, exposing the tension between youth and experience, legacy and ratings, sport and showbiz.
just hit him once and he just tumbled. Some guys still have it in their 40s and 50s. He just doesn't give.
Jake Paul refuses to let his audience forget that Mario Barrios earned his WBC belt by battling through tough contenders, praising his footwork and stamina. Even as he jokes about the pressure of facing a living legend, he playfully contrasts Barrios' six-pack and youthful energy with Pacquiao's seemingly supernatural resilience, quipping that the champ has youth, but Manny might just have 9 lives. This sets the stage for a cartoonish mental image of Barrios bouncing around the ring while Pacquiao glides like a ghost. Jake strikes a balance between respect and ridicule, using the matchup to symbolize the clash between old school and new school, and poking fun at boxing purists by invoking his own rise from viral videos to the ring. He imagines a future where the next boxing star might be a TikTok dancer with a killer hook, in challenging the notion that boxing belongs solely to lifelong athletes. His satire extends to the fighters' training camps, painting Pacquiao's as a blend of spiritual retreat and high-tech grind, joking that he's seen more Instagram stories from Pacquiao's gym than from his own family gatherings. Jake digs into technique with mock-serious flair, analyzing Pacquiao's legendary left cross like a professor lecturing beginners, and comparing it to Barrios' steady jab, which he dubs the digital clock punch for its punctual precision. He pokes fun at the obsession with technical minutiae, while never missing a chance to mock boxing's convoluted hierarchy, highlighting how casual fans can't keep up with promotions, rankings, and sanctioning fees, joking that someone could become champion just by getting confused at a press conference. With biting humor, Jake exposes the quirks, contradictions, and cultural clashes that make this fight, and the sport itself, a spectacle as much as a science. Jake Paul doesn't let the media's narrative of Pacquiao as an untouchable icon go unchallenged. He reminds his audience that past greatness doesn't guarantee future wins, likening Pacquiao's return to an old rock band reuniting and expecting to top the charts again. With his signature sarcasm, Jake turns the high-stakes bout into a pop culture event, complete with catchy choruses and fans nostalgically singing along while crunching stale concession popcorn. He pokes fun at the contrast, in training camps, imagining Pacquiao's team following ancient routines written on palm leaves, while Barrios' camp monitors every heartbeat with cutting-edge tech. He jests that even the trainers might secretly spar at midnight, feeding off the mutual hype. Jake's satire stretches to every corner of the fight game, from cutmen to nutritionists, spotlighting the entire entourage as part of the spectacle. He dives into the psychology behind Pacquiao's return, questioning whether it's about unfinished business or just the craving for one last roar from the crowd. In contrast, he paints Barrios as a modern gladiator, desperate to carve his name into history. By taking down a living legend, Jake exaggerates their motivations for comedic effect, one fighting for legacy, the other for validation, blending humor and insight in a way that exposes the theatrical layers beneath the sport's serious surface.
I think I fought the best, and they beat me. Like Mayweather and Pacquiao, and
Jake Paul dives headfirst into the theatrical extremes of Fight Night, turning the MGM Grand Garden Arena into a gladiator's coliseum, where the lights are so blinding, fighters might question their very existence. He mocks the Golden Lion statue out front, calling it a circus mascot disguised as tradition, and treats the venue like a larger-than-life character that steals the spotlight from the fighters themselves. With sharp wit, he skewers the ritualistic atmosphere, corners stocked, with mysterious potion bottles and whispered mantras. His focus then shifts to the fan base, where he roasts Pacquiao devotees as zealots ready to tattoo the legend's face on their chests, chanting his name like a sacred hymn passed down through generations, possibly all the way from ancient Sparta. On the flip side, he jabs at Barrios, backers who shout about youth and modernity like tech evangelists in boxing gloves. Jake paints the fan war as a tribal clash, complete with foam fingers and battle cries. Online, he imagines a medieval joust played out with smartphones, hashtags as armor, memes as swords, and highlight GIFs as flaming arrows. His satire cuts through the over-the-top passion of digital fandom, exposing how the internet often turns a prize fight into a full-blown virtual crusade, where loyalty is loud, logic is lost, and the spectacle reigns supreme.
Destroyed by Manny Pacquiao like I did in 2 rounds. And then, I knew my career was over, no more boxing.